I'm dying to hear your reaction to what we saw today. Rob, let me start with you, because it really was like these senators who, most of whom, they don't like, they're happy to send you two into war. While they sit in these air-conditioned offices, but when they get an actual warfighter in front of them, they treat him like he's the gum on the bottom of their shoe.
Yeah, Megyn, it's crazy. My initial reaction was Senator Blumenthal, who I can't believe shows his face in that committee, because he lied about Vietnam the entire time. He's been lying about Vietnam since he didn't fight there. And then he finally got busted, had to come out and say, I apologize for misspeaking. There's a huge difference between fighting in Vietnam with real Marines and misspeaking and lying. And so he's up there doing that. We didn't mention, I love how high and mighty they all get. They're not mentioning Senator Ben Cardin had a staffer who had gay sex in the Judiciary Committee room, filmed it, no big deal. And then even as far as I love how Senator Mullen from Oklahoma said, they come in drunk. I've seen you come in drunk. It's almost amazing. Like there's some senators, like the Democrats are playing their cards they play, and their sentences that they don't, their questions they don't want answered. But now all of a sudden you turn the light on and the roaches just scatter. It was Pete did a great job, and I think Democrats looked horrible.
Yeah, here's Dick Blumenthal of Connecticut trying to get, it was a gotcha against Pete on exactly what numbers are in which branches of the military. Watch.
Mr. Hegseth, I'm asking you a very simple question. How many men and women currently serve in the United States Army?
Senator, the United States Army, 450,000 on active duty, sir.
And how many in the Navy?
And the Navy is 425, sir.
Well, it's 337 this year. How many in the Marine Corps?
175,000, sir.
172,300. Those numbers dwarf any experience you had by many multiples. I don't believe that you can tell this committee or the people of America that you are qualified to lead them. I would support you as the spokesperson of Pentagon.
Oh, so rude, Dakota. What did you make of that?
I mean, look, I think that, I watched the whole thing and it blew my mind. First off, that the leaders of the policymakers, lawmakers of this country, that these were the priorities that they were focused on someone who is about to go and be in charge of the force that not only maintains and secures the United States national security, but also really is the stabilization of the globe. And these were the questions that they wanted to ask, the haha gotcha. They used these moments right now in this confirmation hearing to sit here and focus on, the same thing over and over about just trying to haha gotcha. And, the thing when I watch Pete there, it's like, one side of it, I'm sitting back and I'm like, well, say this, from my point, but it's like, he knows the game, right? He's sitting there. He knows that no matter what he says, he's got to get through this and he's got a limited exposure. Right. And that's the problem with all of this is like, there is no accountability for them sitting up there in that position. There's no accountability for the lawmakers. There's no accountability for any of them up there, but they want to turn around. They want to critique this man over and over, which rightfully so. Look, I think we have to sit here and vet, and we have to make sure that these people are going to uphold the policies and they're going to support the Constitution of the United States. And we want to hear his views on what he's going to do about the issues that are truly threatening the United States of America. But like, to sit here and make this out, it just shows you that the priority of the security of the United States of America is not the priority of the left right now.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty remarkable. When Pete got there, he had the support of the crowd. In fact, some Democrats were saying they'd never seen the hearing room like this, that they were stunned at the number of people who showed up to support Pete. And when Pete walked in, they broke out in chants of USA. Here's a little bit of that in SOT 1.
USA! 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 USA!
And one of the most interesting things, Rob, was when they were trying to cross-examine him. A couple did, but Jack Reed, the ranking Dem in particular, on whether he thinks we should follow the Geneva Convention. And Pete was trying to say, look, my criticisms have been, you've got these people in another land who come up with these rules, but warfighters on the ground get conflicting messages, especially in today's modern military where they're fighting against insurgents, and they need better guidance on exactly what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. Here's something akin to that exchange in SOT 13.
Your definition of lethality seems to embrace those people who do commit war crimes rather than those who stand up and say, this is not right. So what's the response to your service members who personally witnessed these and courageously reported them to their superiors?
Senator, as someone who's led men in combat directly and had to make very difficult decisions, I've thought very deeply about the balance between legality and lethality. Sir, I'm talking about restrictive rules of engagement that these men and women behind me understand they've lived with on the battlefield, which has made it more difficult to defeat our enemies. In many of the cases you're talking about in particular, sir, there was evidence withheld. There was prosecutorial misconduct. And as someone who looks case by case and defaults to the warfighter, to the men and women with dust on their boots, not the second guessers in air-conditioned offices in Washington, D.C.
Excuse me.
I look case by case and was proud to work with President Trump to understand those cases and ensure that our warriors are always looked out for.
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I think that the rules of engagement have a tendency to get way too strict, especially the longer we make a war last. And, the Geneva Convention was one thing, but things change. And then I've seen everything from NCIS, which, by the way, the worst thing that ever happened is they made a TV show making those guys look cool. They're going to get promoted the more people they can prosecute and play the good guy than the bad guy. And they get, whatever credit when they put someone in jail. What I've noticed, especially with my unit in Iraq and Afghanistan, the fewer rules we had, the better we were because we had the latitude and were more precise. And like it or not, we on the ground are the good guys. And the Monday morning quarterbacks that sit in Washington, D.C. and put people in Leavenworth for murder in war. I remember even on the bin Laden raid, before we even got in the house, one of my friends shot one of the couriers, and then his wife jumped on top and he shot her. He looked at me outside the house. This is outside bin Laden's house. And he said, I just shot one of the women. She just jumped in front. Am I going to be okay? It's like, stop worrying about that. That should not be in your mind. And when a Marine is in a gunfight, they should be worried about, well, is some dude in a nice suit that's never been in mud going to prosecute me for this? It's nonsense. And this is just this is the bureaucracy that happens with the further you go, the bigger the government agencies get. And then it turns into the self-licking ice cream cone, personal power. Can I put an American in jail so I can get a Navy Achievement Medal? And that's what Pete's getting at. And the reason there's so much blowback is because what needs to happen is the fat needs to get trimmed. But what needs to happen at the Pentagon is exactly what Elon Musk did at Twitter. Get rid of everybody, almost change the name, and then be more efficient. And that's you're seeing the death throes of dying policies, and that's what these senators were doing today. And Pete nailed it.
Are you ready to make better sleep your New Year's resolution? Let me tell you about Cozy Earth. Their sheets made with 100% premium viscose from bamboo are incredibly soft, breathable, and get even softer with every wash. Good sleep is essential to your routine, gives you the energy to tackle your day and feel your best. Cozy Earth also prioritizes quality and care with a 100-night sleep trial. You try their sheets out for up to 100 nights, and if you do not love them, they let you return them for a full refund. Who else does that? And for cozy nights and relaxed mornings, their bamboo pajama set is another must-have. It's soft, breathable, and sleeps cooler than cotton, keeping you perfectly comfortable. A better year starts with better sleep. Wrap yourself in Cozy Earth. Visit CozyEarth.com/Megyn. Use my exclusive code Megyn, MEGYN, for up to 40% off your order. That's CozyEarth.com/Megyn. And if you get a post-purchase survey, tell them you heard about Cozy Earth from the Megyn Kelly Show. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.